And then we'll have 5 minutes for the judges to ask questions and give feedback for each of our companies. So our judging panel for our first pitching session consists of, first of all, Russell Samuels, who's a principal of Whitecap Venture Partners. We also have Rokham, founder of PsychologyCompass.com and co-founder and chairman of theredpin.com. And finally, Jasmine Ganie-Hobbs, director, tech finance at BDC. Now, after all 3 companies pitch, the judges are going to deliberate and select the winning pitch based on 5 criteria. 5 criteria being market need and product fit, business model, accomplishments and traction, go-to-market strategy, and the ability to answer the judges' questions. There will be 1 winner for each of our pitching sessions, with that winner receiving the following: a free lean startup training program from Launch Academy, a complimentary press release package for North American distribution from Access Wire, and a front-of-the-line golden ticket from CBC's Dragon's Den, which will allow the winning companies to pitch before the infamous Dragons at any of the season 13 upcoming auditions. So with that, I will introduce our first company, and Mawadda Basir, Executive Director of ColliderX.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, is this working? Perfect. All right. Good afternoon, my name is Mawadda Basir, and I'm the Executive Director of ColliderX, and today I'd like to talk about hacker culture. And when we talk about hackers, I'm not talking about the ones that try to steal your credit card information in movies and TV shows. I'm talking about the ones that band together to solve real-world problems through technology. And they brought us great innovations like Linux, GNU, Arduino boards, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the other blockchain innovations that are broadcasted today. And these hackers have an incredible culture to them, and this culture revolves around solving problems. Essentially, they believe that the world is full of fascinating problems waiting to be solved, and these problems should never be solved twice. So, blockchain technology is full of fascinating problems, but the research behind it is fragmented and limited. So at this point in the industry, we create something like a research center that tries to solve these problems. But what if we can make a research center that fits within this hacker culture? Introducing ColliderX. This is a blockchain and converging technologies research and development hub, and we are crowdsourced, crowdfunded, and open sourced. So let me explain what that actually means. We source our problems from the community. So these are the people that actually face these problems. They are the best ones to give us the problems to solve. We are also funded by the community. In return for their funds, they get to vote on the direction of the research. So which proposals should be prioritized. Then we bring in technical researchers from academia and non-academic backgrounds that are also hackers, and they hack away at these problems and try to solve these problems. What ends up happening is that we actually release this research as open research to the community. Everyone has access to it. Everyone can use it to steward the development of blockchain technology. So right now, ColliderX is in phase 1 of our roadmap. So we're MVP level. We're working with independent researchers, not necessarily connected to any institution, that can research with us and solve these great problems. And phase 2 will be tokenizing our model. So that means that the voting application and the also distribution of grants will be more automated and using the technology that we're trying to steward. The future is more of an autonomous, decentralized research lab. This is one that works on its own, less overhead, more autonomy, more transparency, and actually has an ingrained blockchain culture to it. So why should you actually support ColliderX? Well, if you have any crypto investments, if you actually have any vesting interest in a blockchain-based startup, or you come from a corporation or government that has any blockchain strategies, well, if the answer is no, you might be in the wrong room. Hopefully you're learning some new things today. But if the answer is yes, ColliderX is the infrastructure to support the development of all of these projects. We are doing this through collaborative, unbiased, groundbreaking, and widely accessible research. And we have an incredible team behind this. We have people from across the industry, from open source, research universities, and research corporations supporting this as actual team members. And we have an incredible set of supporters behind us, from the Association of Computing Machinery and the superclusters actually funded through the Canadian government's bid for innovation. We're also working with universities so that in phase 2 and phase 3, we have real universities that are reputable for their research around the world, giving us their master's and PhD students to do research under the ColliderX umbrella. The ask today is not the typical equity ask. ColliderX is a non-for-profit, so we are looking for 3 things. One of which is send us your problems. We want to hear them. We are collecting a repository of these problems so that we can actually solve them. The second thing we're looking for is researchers. So if anyone in the audience has any technical background and wants to do research with ColliderX, come talk to us. And lastly, well, we need to pay the bills. We need these researchers to actually be funded to do their research. And so we are looking for financial support. And for all 3 of these things, you can go to collider-x.org to pledge and submit your application to research or your topic. So the technology is full of fascinating problems. Let's solve them together.
Thank you very much, Mawadda. I'll now turn it over to the judges for any questions and feedback they may have.
Hello. Hi, Mawadda. Great presentation. Thank you very
you.
much. I very much enjoyed that. And it's very nice to see a young female up here. What I'd want to know, in any time I'm listening to pitches, I would really like to buy into the people that are behind the team and what they're all about. I think the people and their backgrounds behind the team are what really make a company. So can you just tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you got here very, very briefly so I can kind of understand that from my point of view?
For sure. So ColliderX was actually founded by Ileana Orsvaliente when she was working with a consultancy here in Toronto doing blockchain technology. And every time we worked on, and I worked with her at this consultancy, and every time we worked on any client projects, our developers and the entire team would come out of it with a lot of questions. And it was very difficult to solve these questions because no one had the answers. Or if they did, no one was sharing the answers. And so at that point, ColliderX and the idea of it came to be. And so really what the team is full of is people from across the industry that have the same beliefs. So we have Ileana as our chair, and she is actually the managing director of Accenture right now. We also have Emma Todd, who manages a marketing consultancy as well, focusing on blockchain technology. So she's been our marketing communications guru. And then we also have Mark Lejour, who used to work at ICTC and is very, very familiar with the open source community and the way to actually manage open source projects. And we also have Raul Reina. So Raul is actually at Microsoft right now doing AI research, but he has a research university background. So he's an incredible addition to the team that is helping us actually work with the universities that support us. Myself, I used to work at Deloitte, and I was a blockchain consultant there, as well as the chief of staff for the lead of the team. And so at that point, I got very familiar with the technology and developed the skills that are needed to actually manage something like this. Thank you.
That was a great presentation.
Thank you.
One of the questions that I'm wondering about is what type of research are you targeting? Is it deep, basic technical research, or is it point solutions to specific problems in other blockchain projects? Because some of these projects are implementing their own kind of on-chain payment system for developers who make improvements to the project itself.
For sure. So we are focusing on foundational technical research. So some of the sample research topics that we have sourced from the crowd are on the screen here. So one of them is how do we make smart contracts smart, so smarter using machine learning? How do we actually use, how do wearable technologies work with the blockchain? So that is something that is more foundational, not necessarily application or protocol layer, but more from a foundational level of how does this actually interact with each other. So that's really the research we're looking at. So the researchers we bring on are more from mathematics, cryptography, computer science, computer engineering. We also want to do some hardware research, so mechanical, electrical engineers would also be part of our repository or our team of researchers.
Thank you so much. Just a couple questions, because you're sprinkling a lot of different, you're basically tackling a lot of different areas in business, which is crowdsourcing, crowd research, and funding it. Can you give us maybe an example, a use case that aligns with your beachhead where you want to start off with, and kind of walk us through the steps in terms of how do you vote on the questions that comes up? How do you find the matching researcher? And what would be the outcome? How long does it take? What if it falls apart halfway through? Like, can you walk us through the process?
For sure. So, we'll have, so how it starts is at the funder level. So a backer, so someone who actually contributes financially, will come to our website. They'll contribute fiat or cryptocurrency, and they will start going through the process of being part of our sponsorship team. And so what that really means is, and I only have 30 seconds to explain this, unfortunately, but they get to decide on the category of research they want their money to go towards. That's the first step. During this time, we're also bringing on researchers who are registered or applying to work with us, and usually they'll either come with a research topic that they want to pursue, or they're open to research anything within a certain domain. And so after a month or so, we'll have the proposals vetted through our steering committee, and we'll have the researchers ready and matched from the get-go to a proposal. At that point, the funder, the backers, actually get to vote on a specific proposal they want us to prioritize. Based off the votes, we select different proposals, also based off how much money we were able to raise, and we start the research cycle. So different proposals would have different timelines, but right now it would be a fairly manual process to distribute the grants to the researchers to actually pursue this. And so the idea is that it would be more milestone-based. So at certain milestones of their research, they'd get the next set of funding. And so in the future, that'd be more in an autonomous model where automatically they're getting the next set of funding for the milestones reached. But right now, it would be fairly manual. But that's how we also ensure that research is completed and someone's not just, acting maliciously in any way. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We've just reached our 5 minutes for questions and answers. So thank you very much, Mawadda. Very good job. Very good job. So for our next company pitch, I'd like to introduce Troy Wong, CFO of Neptune Technologies.
Thank you so much. All right, it works. Hi, everyone. My pleasure to speak with you today. My name is Troy Wong. I am the co-founder and chief financial officer of Neptune Technologies Corp. And we are the world's first publicly traded Dash masternode company. Neptune Dash went public on January 23rd of 2018, raising gross proceeds of 23 million Canadian dollars as a tier 1 issuer on the TSX Venture Exchange. And what makes our go public debut so significant is we're the world's first publicly traded company to exclusively own and operate masternode assets, which is a form of blockchain scaling architecture that I'll tell you a little bit later about. And the second thing is we're the first public company to specialize in an altcoin all the way down to our ticker, which is Dash, which I think is quite significant since most people 12 months ago didn't know what an altcoin was. So I want to talk a little bit about our business model. It's very, very simple. Although we are an operating company, we are structured very similar to an ETF, where 95% of our non-cash assets are actually held in the cryptocurrency Dash. So we basically have lots of Dash on our balance sheet, and we use the masternode revenue generation model to earn slightly more Dash each month, about an 8.5% annualized yield, therefore providing a public market investor with the perfect opportunity basically to invest in cryptocurrency through our company on a publicly traded market with more liquidity and tax benefits associate versus having to go out and actually custody and store assets themselves. How a masternode works, again, not every blockchain is different, and when you're investing in a blockchain, you're really investing in like a philosophy as well as a technology and a scaling architecture. And what Dash did was they actually forked away from the Bitcoin blockchain, and they created a model where nodes, which is a form of server on a blockchain, and when you link tokens and nodes together, it provides what's called a trusted party on the network, and it allows for what's called advanced functionality on the blockchain, which can be really, really interesting. I actually think that the Masternode model is actually the future for blockchain because it allows for a decentralized governance. So as you can see, from a Neptune Dash investment perspective, we have a very, very low-cost server. Our server costs about $10,000. We can run up to 100 masternodes on a single server that's connected to our data center. And the majority of the capital cost, as mentioned previously, is actually in the digital currency Dash. So it takes 1,000 Dash digital currency tokens linked via software and internet protocol to our servers, and that's basically a master node. We earn about 6.8 Dash per month for each master node, and we have 18 master nodes. So masternodes enable what's called advanced functionality on the blockchain. With respect to Dash, that's instant payments, which means that I can log into my wallet and instantly send payments from me to you at a very, very low cost. It's called private payments, which is a coin mixing feature that's allowed on the Dash blockchain, where effectively users mix their coins together so that the full history of a specific coin can actually be traced back to any one specific wallet. And the last is, as mentioned before, is a corporate governance function that allows for active voting on governance, scaling protocols, and 10% of the block reward, where you literally have decentralized stakeholders all around the world actively voting on what's called treasury proposals, which is about $40 million right now on various Dash-related initiatives. So there's conferences, there's scaling methodologies and technologies, there's research, there's videos. Any user can basically submit a treasury proposal. It'll get voted on by the Dash Masternode network, and if it wins that proposal, which is greater than 66% of the entire network, then that portion of Dash is actually funded to that individual person to actually move forward with that project. So this just reiterates our revenue model, which is currency and revenue. One question I get quite often, what's the difference between masternodes and mining? And so from an investment perspective, what we call proof of work mining or ASIC mining is actually very hardware and capital intensive. And what you're really doing is you're buying a data center to mine coins in the future. But when you invest in Neptune Dash, you're buying the coins now. Here's the management team and board. I co-founded the company with my good friend and co-founder, Cale Moody. He's bought and sold a number of public companies before. There's myself. I'm a CA. I used to work at Ernst & Young and worked in mining before my foray into blockchain. We have Callie Radich, who's like the former president of Payfirma, a very strong payments company here in Canada. We have Dario Melli, one of the founders of Hootsuite, a Vancouver technology success story. And we have Guy Halford Thompson, who has created actually one of Canada's most successful blockchain startups that's currently valued at over $300 million. And Jackson Warren, who actually is a prolific Bitcoin entrepreneur and actually started the world's first Bitcoin ATM. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Troy. So thanks again, Troy. So now we'll give our judges 5 minutes for any questions or feedback.
Really interesting pitch. Being one of the first ways to play the proof of stake trend, are you guys trading at a premium to the underlying NAV value, or are you trading at a discount? Because I'm curious how investors see it, because you could just go out and buy the Dash tokens yourself, run your own masternode. It's not.
Absolutely. So as you would expect, we have about 20 million Canadian dollars from a NAV perspective, and I have to check the stock price today. It is quite volatile, but we are, I believe, at a $30 million market cap. So we have a nice $10 million premium, which we expected. The best example of a publicly traded company that only holds assets as its underlying business model is Grayscale. So the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust down in the US, and it usually trades at a 60% NAV premium. Yeah.
Hi, Troy. Great presentation. Thank you. The way you got started on the TSX venture is quite unique, and I myself, I run the tech portfolio at BDC, and so I see a lot of things, but what is your capitalization strategy going forward? What do you see? And you being the CA of the company, I'm sure that you have a lot of insight into that. How do you see yourselves capitalizing over the next couple of years?
So the first thing is we earn about $1 million Canadian dollars per year just off our Dash Masternode earnings in Dash. So we are like a fully self-funded business, if you will, just off of the $20 million that we've raised, or $23 million that we've raised year to date. That's not our strategy to capitalize the business going forward. Like, we believe that we're a Dash cryptocurrency pure play, and we want to basically keep as much Dash on our balance sheet because that's the whole point of the investor investing in us, right? So ideally, we actually see a large increase in the cryptocurrency price or a Dash price. We trade at a premium, and we're able to basically raise more money, very similar to a junior mining company that's able to raise money off of its drill results for gold results in the future. So we hope to trade at a premium, and we hope to raise more money, which will further buy more masternodes, further increasing our earnings. Yeah.
Great presentation. It was very exciting. I thought you were way ahead of everyone else who's pitching here today, so this is exciting to see.
Okay.
My question is, you mentioned you kind of look at your company as an ETF for cryptocurrency. Are you trying to broaden across all the other altcoins, or?
Yeah, so when I started Neptune Dash, like, the goal basically was to create like crypto pure play exposure in public markets. I believe that in order for cryptocurrencies to really trade globally, they need to be ETFs, they need to be a number of public companies to grow the market cap that becomes widely held. And the best way basically to invest, I shouldn't say the best, one easier way to invest in cryptocurrencies, if you actually feel comfortable taking custody yourself, is through our vehicle or vehicles like them. We chose Dash because of the masternode model, where we are actually an operating company. We do actually operate servers. Those servers do or will need to be upgraded over time in order for us to basically continue leasing that server space, if you will, to the Dash blockchain. The company did issue a news release at the beginning of last week that we are starting what's called a proof of stake, what I call proof of stake network, where we want to be the first public company in Canada to purchase a number of proof of stake coins and actually pledge those, collateralize them on the blockchain, and earn income. And so we're actually right now in the process of incubating what you just said. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the judges? Excellent. Right. Well, thank you very much, Troy. Good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, for our third and final pitch, I'd like to introduce Thomas Beatie, CEO of Voleo.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So Voleo builds, develops, operates, and licenses proprietary trading platforms. We started out in the social trading space because we believe there are lots of natural advantages for the next generation working together. We debuted our platform in collaboration with TSX and TSX Venture Exchange in 2016 as part of a financial trading competition simulated here in Canada at the university level. And in 2017, we followed that up with a NASDAQ competition in the US. Last year, we also registered our own broker-dealer in all 50 states across the United States, and now have hundreds of live users in soft launch on the flagship Voleo platform. This year, we're doing a number of exciting new things, and today I'm going to showcase a brand new version of our platform built for crypto. We're also going to be licensing our platform white label to financial institutions in the Voleo format, and I'll explain the advantages to the parties here. When individuals trade together, they lower their costs. They split a discount brokerage commission when they trade on our system. They also reduce their risk because together they build more diversified portfolios than they would have on their own. And thanks to the wisdom of the crowd, they make better decisions. Voleo's proprietary decision tracking engine is quite unique, and I'll show you that in a demonstration shortly. For financial institutions, this is a tool for customer engagement. This activates existing users, encourages them to create teams and invite their networks, and that in turn leads to increased revenue for the financial institution. Of course, for those institutions, it also speaks to brand loyalty, and that's another important element to what Voleo brings. So how does it work? On Voleo, you form a team invite your friends, pool your resources, and then start trading together. You're effectively managing your own private club. Normally now I would debut the Voleo platform, but today it's Cryptolio. So here it is. Technology. Our Cryptolio platform will be launching here in Canada later this year. And here is an example of me on 3 different simulated portfolios. You can see that the returns are ridiculous because that was that kind of year in crypto trading. However, what I want to show you is how the platform works and how we can operate together. So here I am in the chain gang, where you can see we've got exposure to 4 different coins. I'm working on a small team with my friends Mike and Sarah. When we want to transact on this platform, and it is a closed platform, it's very simple. You go to the research screen, you can look at what's moving, you can check out the news, you can follow whatever's on your watch list by sparkline or by logo. So it's easy and accessible. And having selected a coin, I make my transaction proposal to the team. Select the coin, the club, whether I'm buying or selling, and then it's a matter of simply dragging out my limit price and allocation. This makes it easy for even a novice investor to get into the crypto space. I write a note to my team to explain why I'm proposing this particular transaction, and upon submission, I have an ability to share it to additional social networks. So I can tweet to my followers or post onto Facebook to gather insights from a broader community. In this case, I'm going to proceed without sharing and go directly to the proposal because my team just received a notification. When they follow it, they're taken directly to what I've just suggested and can vote quickly using the buttons at the bottom. Dynamically updates in real time and automatically sends those trades to market. It's this decision tracking that makes Voleo truly unique. You can learn from everything that you wanted to do, even if the group didn't agree with you. You can prove to them how it would have gone if everybody had listened to you. And you can gather insights from top performers, like Jason, who started in December and is up over 30%. I can follow him and get his ideas in real time. This is what makes the platform collaborative. And while Cryptolio will be coming exclusively in Canada this year, we do plan on expanding it worldwide. This is an exciting year for Voleo on a number of different fronts, as beyond launching the Cryptolio platform, we have also announced a Go Public event onto the TSX Venture Exchange. This morning, we announced the closing of our oversubscribed bridge financing, which was to be $750,000. And next, we'll be working on a $10 million RTO financing as part of that transaction. For Voleo, B2B licensing is going to change our business. Those customers have a negative cost of customer acquisition. And depending on the structure of that relationship, some of them will be trading through our broker-dealer, whereas larger financial institutions will be taking those customers on their own books. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Thomas. So once again, 5 minutes for any questions and feedback from our judges.
Hi, Thomas. Thank you very much for your presentation. Definitely a very, very interesting solution. What I'd like to hear a little bit about is potential competitors and what your competitive landscape look like and potential barriers to entry. What would be the biggest feature that would drive you forward as opposed to others that are coming up in this space?
So I've got 2 different sets of competition. One of them in the discount brokerage space, highly competitive. Competitors include TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Robinhood. Our unique selling proposition is entirely built around the team management. You're breaking down all of the barriers to entry for new investors. Robinhood's great if you don't have enough money because the trades are free, but it doesn't help you if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the time, or you're scared. This collaborative element is what we think really sets us apart in the discount brokerage space. On the crypto side, I think it's an entirely new opportunity. Very few people are effectively managing this market. Everyone's having problems with KYC and onboarding customers, and that's know your customer. Sorry, I shouldn't use lingo. But that's what we do. We're FINRA regulated. I've been audited by FINRA. We've passed all of those tests. We do this every day. So I think that's a real competitive advantage within the crypto trading space.
2 questions. Have you guys already built the infrastructure to do the equity buying? So is that in place right now?
Yeah, that's in place. We built a proprietary order management system which routes our trades to Instinet in the United States, and we clear through Apex.
And so how many users are on the platform?
In soft launch, we've got hundreds of live users doing trades.
And the crypto, how are you going to do that? Which broker are you going to partner with? How are you going to actually source
We've
the
obviously got a
assets?
field of available exchanges that already exist in Canada. It's not my intent to replace them. We'll be working with one of the existing exchanges. We've announced Einstein, but CoinSquare and others have approached us.
All right, great. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Quick question: is your main objective to get people to lure in their colleagues and friends and whatnot, or do you have a service component that you want to? You talk about expertise and education. Like, I didn't quite understand which lever you're pulling in on more.
The gamification and financial literacy components are really important to our strategy for growth, but really for us, it doesn't matter whether you've got a small team or a big team. We charge a single discount brokerage commission either way. Individuals on our platform trade for $4, teams trade for $12. They split that $12 fee among a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 100 people in the US. Canada's exemptions are different for investment clubs, so when we list here, it'll be capped at 50. But our average team size is 9. It costs $1.30 per person per trade, and that's cheap enough.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. So we're now going to give our judges about 5 minutes to deliberate and select our winning pitch. Check. Check. And I am pleased to announce that the winner of our first pitching session and recipient of this Dragon's Den golden ticket is Neptune Technologies. So Troy.